They are completely changing PvP inside of Destiny 2. Let me say that with more emphasis. They are completely changing PvP inside of Destiny 2. And that is great in my opinion. That is something that needed to be done, but I never expected them to do what they did. I knew that they were going to make risks. I really knew that. But I never expected the things that they announced in the stream. And even with the teaser that they showed off. I never expected it. Because for me, Bungie, as of like with Destiny 2, they're like, oh wait, let's play it safe. But they've been really showing that they're like, screw being safe. Let's make sure that this is fun. And who cares if we break the game? They were just like, is this the destroy everything button but add fun? Yeah, okay, well, excuse me while I beat the living crap out of this button. Like, that's what they did. And I'm just surprised. So, I wanted to do a video, which is this, explaining my thoughts. Like, sharing my thoughts on this overall stream, reveal, stuff, whatever. It's unscripted, so yay. Might make mistakes, but that's okay. I want to know your thoughts, of course, as well in the comments down below, because this is insane. Like, this is not just like, oh, we tweaked a few things. This is like PvP completely changing in a great way. And I hope that it plays out this way too. So, first of all, let's talk about Destiny 2. The problems with Destiny 2 when it released for PvP. So, there has been a lot of talk about time to kill and so on, and it is a real problem with Destiny 2, like when it came out, because, well, I could tell that Bungie wanted to experiment with making a longer time to kill and making the game switch for PvP to switch from chaotic, mayhemic fun to more of a skilled, work together as a team experience. And that sometimes works for games like Overwatch, but for Destiny, it really doesn't. And people were instantly able to figure that out on their own, especially when Trials came along. I mean, the game really didn't reward people on smart plays when you split up. I had times where I would go for a flank that normally would work in D1 and be very rewarding in the end, and I would flank a warlock, shoot him, and he would be, taking decent amount of damage or whatever, but he would have enough time to react to me doing damage to him to either consume a grenade and heal, or jump out of the battle and let his team run around the corner and take me out, or put down a rift, or this or this. Like, there's so many different things that can happen in the span of me trying to kill this one warlock, because the time to kill is that long. You may think that, oh, it's just another second, but every millisecond matters inside of first-person shooters. And I could tell that they were really looking at a lot of other games on for like esports, and were like, we want to do this. And it just doesn't work, to be honest. And it sucks. It really does. To have Destiny 2 change what it originally did well with Destiny 1 with its Crucible. So the other thing that I noticed right off the bat was that the reward of skill of aiming was very, very different. So body shot, the reason why, and I love hearing people say, like, JB, there was team shotting in Destiny 1. Difference was the time to kill was very different, but not only that, it wasn't like Destiny 2's damaged to, like, head versus body. It wasn't like how it was in Destiny 2 versus Destiny 1. If I got crit damage, it did a lot of damage. If I did body shot damage, it didn't really do much. That was how Destiny 1 was kind of like. So with Destiny 2, I noticed this right off the bat. I was like, so what's the difference of shooting someone in the body versus hitting a crit for a lot of these guns? Well, there wasn't really much difference. That's why, like, team shotting was so effective, was because you didn't really have to worry about hitting someone's head. You just had to have a whole team working at whoever that's around the corner or whatever and take him out. whether hitting bodies or crits. And I don't know if like down the road there's been updates to that, but it did feel a little bit different with certain weapons for Destiny 2. But they did officially announce that time to kill will be reduced, and what they're going for is that the crit damage is very different from body shots, and they showed that off with the auto rifle. And I feel like that is a great change, because that was what Destiny 1 had. It was very rewarding to land your crits. So highly skilled players were able to really get that rewarding feel when playing the game. But casuals were still able to have fun with their shotguns, their one-hit kill wonder weapons and such. But in Destiny 2, you didn't really have that unless you had power ammo. So with Destiny 2, in this reveal stream, they're like, yeah, let's completely change time to kill. We know that people were talking about it, so let's do it. And I never expected them to do it right now. I thought they were going to mess with the weapon slot system, play it safe, and then gradually do time to kill changes maybe like a month or two later. No, they were like, let's do everything at once right now. Let's bring back Destiny 1. Let's bring back that fun, chaotic experience that Destiny 1 had. And thank you, because I really want quick play at 6v6 to be chaotic fun again. I really wanted that. Now, they showed off the changes to special ammo. They answered a lot of questions that we would have, and that was good too. But like with special ammo, I was concerned that, like, how are they going to get this to work? Because some of the maps, all maps don't have a location for special ammo boxes. They would have to really work that in there for a lot of the maps, and I don't know how that would work. How are they going to implement heavy? Like, all these different things. But how they're doing special ammo, I feel like, is a great idea. No matter what, when you spawn in, you have special. You may not have that many bullets to, like, your shotgun, but you'll spawn in with ammo. And as you kill enemy players, you can pick up their special to completely keep you going with your shotgun. So just because you're empty, you're not like, oh, let me go get a special box. You're like, let me go take out more guardians and fill in my clip to my shotgun or sniper so I can keep going. And I feel like that's great because it incentivizes people to run around. With the special ammo nerf in Destiny 1, it really made the game slower because people were just sitting back, waiting for special, and then running in it. Plus, it made certain weapons way too useful, like Icebreaker or No Land Beyond, when it comes to a sniper rifle. And that, with the change of Destiny 2, like with special ammo, that's really good. And I really am excited to experience that because I really feel like it's going to promote people to not sit in the back, but actually run forward and be in the action. Because if they want more special ammo, they have to pick it up. They have to go pick it up from that player that dropped it. That's good. That's great. They even went into detail of like the differences versus like a heavy weapon versus a secondary. So like there's obviously like going to be heavy shotguns and also like a secondary shotgun. And when it comes to a heavy shotgun, those will actually really pack a punch. They should follow the whole, like, this is almost like a rocket launcher in the strength. So like a good example was Legend of Icarus stayed as a power weapon, which makes sense because that thing packs a punch. But there was a lot of strength in the secondary shotgun as well. And that's good. I think they even said that some grenade launchers will also be in the secondary slot, and the damage will be different based on what slot it's on. And they didn't show off any fusions, but they did confirm that yes, there will be fusions in the secondary as well. But man, the weapon slot changes was really needed, and it looked like it was a lot of fun. And not only that, they really went all out with because the thing is that I could be excited about them being like, this is D1 gameplay. But we already experienced that. So them being crazy and being like, okay, if you want to play like Destiny 2 with 2 primaries and 1 heavy, you can do that. If you want to run like Destiny 1 where you have a primary, secondary, and heavy, you can do that. Or if you want to be crazy, you can run all shotguns. Like that right there, allowing more freedom to your loadouts and experimentation is something that really brings the fun into Destiny 2. Like, that's how Destiny 1 was like. You would have people running in with hard lights and having fun with that, or something crazy like running around with just like the crappiest guns ever, like whether it be exotic or non-exotic, and just trying to have fun with it. And now I could really see people just being like, yeah, you know what? I want to run like a complete setup of just snipers. And I know that this is going to be a difficult game, probably for me, but it allows a challenge for me and allows something fun and different in my experience inside of the Crucible, which is good. It's really good. But the other thing is they talked about abilities. Like with time to kill changing, with weapons, we were probably thinking, okay, what about our melees and grenades? Because right now, it takes 3 melee hits to kill someone. And that, in my opinion, is sad. Like, that's just ridiculous. So they were straight up like, okay, now we're going back to the 2-hit melee to kill someone experience for Destiny 2 Crucible. And that might spark some people being like mixed about that, because they also then said shoulder charge will be a 1-hit kill melee, but because it's Destiny 2, you have to wait for that to charge. So it's not like exactly like D1 where just people would run around shoulder charging, but there's also a helmet that will charge your abilities right away, so people could just honestly just run melee and that's it. And if you can do that it's fun. Again, more different experiences, different loadouts for fun and exciting changes to your gameplay, just all this stuff. They even said that grenades are also getting a buff. So just everything in general. Throwing knives for hunters are also going to get that buff, so that most likely will be just like Destiny 1. So it's not going to do a 1-hit kill if someone's got full shields, but if you took out maybe like half their shield or so, and you throw a throwing knife and it hits a crit, most likely they're going to die. And I miss those moments. I always loved my throwing knife inside of Destiny 1, and in Destiny 2, I'm looking forward to feeling that power again when I throw one of those and get a crit. They kind of talked a little bit about some of the changes for the supers, like the Night Stalker will be a lot faster with the tether. It will span out a little bit further. They said that Golden Gun, which was needed to begin with, will have extra time, like a few seconds. They said like 2 seconds or something. So you'll be able to hold on to that a little bit longer. They said that they didn't say in the stream, but they said off stream that Ward of Dawn will also be getting a buff. Now, this is where like it's great of a change and it's exciting, but can also be broken. But that's okay. We're going to be experimenting with this stuff. We want to experience fun. That's the biggest importance. But what they basically said with Ward of Dawn is that when you pop it, it's going to have more health. So the bubble will not be able to be shut down so easily. Number 2, you're going to have increased melee damage to yourself and anyone else that's inside the bubble that's on your team. So I don't know what that means, if that means 1-hit melees guaranteed all the time, or if it's just going to be just, tons of damage in general. Now, the reason why I say that this could be broken is it could be something that people use inside of Control, and it could be like the meta. But we don't know, because there's a lot of things that could maybe counter it. A lot of different things if you add in the changes with the shotguns and all that other stuff. So who knows? So this is why, like, it may sound scary, but there's going to be probably counters to a lot of different things, and that's the biggest point. To not nerf things or whatever, it's always to try and work around those OP things at the moment and figure out, okay, what could we buff or change so then there's a counter to these kind of things. That's always what I believed in. And if you have to nerf something, I always believed in that it should also get a buff. So a good example was with the Night Stalker and its invisibility. They turned on the aim assist when you're invisible in PvP, but they also buffed where the invisibility will last a little bit longer. So it's not entirely ruining the invisibility and just destroying something that maybe you like to do, but they at least it's something where it's like, here's something at least that you could have, though. I feel like that's really good because a lot of people who main certain things will not really like to be told that, yeah, this is not going to be as great anymore. And that's it. Like, you're not going to get any changes for good for your super or whatever. They're just negative. That's it. So, hooray. You're not going to be excited about this patch for your super. So there's that. But again, in the end, this reveal had so much shown, and like they even showed off the reward system of like random rolls plus controlled. There could be unbalancedness to the mod system. There really could. But that's okay again, because I'm going to repeat myself. Fun is more important, and if we have to break things, then we'll have to break things. But they showed off finally the 10th Better Devils. That's better. Like my God, that took a year where they were like, oh, don't worry. We're gonna tell you when your next Better Devils will be better than the first. Like, finally. They were showing off the random rolls, but not only that, you can put on gun mods. Now, some of these gun mods are really cool, but some of them I'm a little bit cross on. Like, well, there was the PvE ones, as in, because there was 3. There was one that was, like, I guess for, like, red bars. One was for, like, the majors, so not bosses. And one was just for bosses. So, like, I was like, okay, then maybe I would put, like, a mod on my heavy sniper rocket launcher for bosses. And then I will have, like, my primary be good for PvE combatants. But that really emphasizes the one thing that I really liked about Destiny 1. Hey, here's my PvE palindrome, but here's my PvP palindrome. I really liked having 2 or 3 of the same weapon inside my vault because they all had different experiences in what they were used for. So I really do like that. So with the gun mods, allowing there to be a PvE change is something good. I really, really do like that. Now, I don't know how much of a change those mods will do, if it's going to make things ridiculous, but I would hope so. I want to feel powerful. I want things in PvE to be powerful. But with PvP, you got Icarus as a mod. You got radar will show up quicker when you descope. You got higher magazine, just all kinds of stuff. And not only that, they have the Masterworks, where you can level it up to 10. So you can have plus 10 range on your Better Devils, for example, and you just level it up. You consume legendary marks and masterwork cores, and I do hope that with Destiny 2 Forsaken, they do have a way of grinding masterworks a lot more effectively than just random. I'm not saying making it always guaranteed, but wouldn't you like if, like, maybe the challenge system in Destiny 2 was that if you completed all the challenges for this area, this patrol zone, this activity, you'll get maybe like 2 or 3 masterwork cores. That would really emphasize you to grind these activities again. So masterwork cores are very, very important. So if you have them drop or be guaranteed in certain activities without the milestones, then good. That's really good. So with the masterwork system, I feel like it could be broken or whatever, but it's looking promising. And I really did like the masterwork system inside of Destiny 2, where like the whole double kill and orbs drop, and just like the stat bonuses. So just with the stat bonuses, there's good with that, but you get the gun mods, you get the random rolls, you get all kinds of stuff. So it's going to really emphasize the reward system. You're going to go out there and be like, man, I got this shotgun, but I want to get another one and hopefully get better rolls for it. Awesome. I really, really, really am excited about grinding inside of Destiny 2. It's good. And they went into detail a little bit with the armor, where they do have perks. They're going more of a D1 style, where they have the, this is good for scout rifle, like flinch or whatever, and this is good for ammo reserves for scout rifles. And they said that armor mods will kind of play a role of like grenade recharge and whatever. But that good, it adds more variety to your armor as well. But they didn't like fully like just show off every single thing. They just kind of talked about it. But the grind is gonna be a thing. We're gonna actually want to go out and try and earn certain things, which is pretty good. Now, I feel like I took care of everything that they really talked about, or at least that I mentioned enough where you get the understanding, my thoughts. Now, the only concerns I really have is two things. Number one is that it won't be as fun as we may think. It might be way too broken because snipers might not be as useful against shotguns because the maps in D2 are way too condensed, that making certain weapons useless. They need to do bigger maps for sure. And things just being broken in general, but that's okay. But the other concern is the community. One thing that we need to understand is that we need to work together as a community and not call out nerf. Just because you're losing against something doesn't mean that it's initially broken or OP. It just means that other things around it are probably not as useful. But things, if they get nerfed, things need to be buffed. A good example was recently people didn't really realize when they nerfed heroic strike modifiers that essentially was a blanket nerf in the wrong way. They nerfed Blackout, Grounded, and I think Glass or something. Like they nerfed the modifiers that were more difficult for the strike playlist. But that was it. They didn't do a buff at the same time to maybe some advantages to allow more fun, because even though those modifiers were difficult, they added a variety of fun and entertaining moments with your friends. And now they're not as effective. So with weapons, if you just nerf something, it's not going to be as enjoyable anymore. But if you buff it as well at the same time, yeah, that's good. When they nerfed Mida Multi-Tool in Destiny 1, they removed high caliber rounds, but they didn't buff anything about it. They didn't be like, okay, but you can have this. And that sucked because not for PvP for me, but for PvE. Because they nerfed it because of PvP, but in PvE, high caliber rounds ensured that the enemies would flinch. And with Mida was a really good weapon inside of PvE, and not as powerful as a lot of other weapons, but it was doing decent damage, and with the flinch, it was doing great. But then they did that nerf, and I was like, okay, then what's the point of using this when I can't make the ads flinch? So we need to understand that things will be broken, and that's something that happens inside of Destiny. But we need to not just straight up say the word nerf. We learned what that has done. Destiny 2 became the definition of balance and nerf. Like what the outcome of crying nerf would do to a game. And we didn't like it. So if you don't want that to come back, then best thing for you to do, don't cry nerf. Because it's just going to always go back to Destiny 2. You can only have one or the other. It's just how it kind of works. So that's all I have to say, really. But overall, I'm very excited. I still have my constraints on my hype trainness, but I'm still excited. I'm still buying this DLC and the expansion pass, and I'll be playing this game going forward. I knew that there was promise to this game when it come to its big DLC in the fall. I stuck by it, and I will stick by it, going forward as well. I'm really excited for this game to become a hobby again and be something that's enjoyable for everyone. So that's all I have to really say. But if you have your own thoughts, I want to know it in the comments down below. But thank you so much for listening. Chibi out.